Hello everybody, welcome to episode 89 of Show Viewers. Today we'll be going over chapter 33 of Boruto 2 Blue Vortex. That chapter started off with a colored spread of Sarada, and I did not like this spread at all, because she honestly looked like Michael Jackson, in my opinion. Like, deteriorated Michael Jackson. You got, like, normal Michael Jackson, and then you have, like, withered Michael Jackson, like he's FNAF characters, like he's a FNAF character or something like that. Yeah, so we start this chapter off, and we see as Himawari runs up on Sarada and attempts to heal her. She is able to heal the blood vessels in Himawari's eyes from the damage with the Mangekyo Sharingan, but she doesn't know if she's able to heal her vision or not. Now, as they run up, both Himawari and Boruto are aware of the damage that the Mangekyo Sharingan has. So, I don't believe Sarada would not know of the damages it has, because, I mean, like, why would Sasuke have told his apprentice and not his own daughter, who actually has Mangekyo? But, yeah, so I don't believe she will actually be going blind off Mangekyo, but it would be cool to see if she was, like, forced at the store to continually use it and went blind eventually because she had to keep using it and she didn't have another Sharingan to implant to acquire Eternal Mangekyo. Yeah, that'd be a really cool concept to see, as I've talked about that previously in other Boruto videos. But yeah, so we see as this moves along, and we are seeing as Damon is fighting more and more of the Mamushi to help defend off Ada. And, like, they're starting to pile up and all that stuff. Like, he's going to town. He's getting a little bit angry at him, but we see as he's going, like, crazy on him. Like, we see at one point where he grabs one of them by the head and reverses their malicious intent and, like, pops a bunch of their heads. But they're still dividing and they're still duplicating. But yeah, so we see that, and we also see as Inojin and Koji Kashin are talking. Koji Kashin. Yeah, I don't know why I forgot Jiraiya's clone there for a second. But yeah, so we see him and Koji are talking, and Koji reveals about how his prescience and precognition aren't actually controlled. He just kind of randomly gets visions that he sees, and him and Inojin are talking, and they're like, okay, so, like, what am I supposed to do here? Like, I mean, this future seems pretty dull so far. And he's like, well, it's not as dull as some other futures because Sarada and Himawari are still alive, and you have learned this new technique. Though, the problem with him learning the new technique early was that Mamushi came earlier than before, and it was in conjunction with the... Crap, what was his name? It wasn't Code. It was the, like... Land of Fire, like, ambassador dude. But yeah, so it was in conjunction with that rather than having Himawari and Sarada die. And Mamushi is much weaker in this future because Inojin learned his ability, his new jutsu, earlier. However, due to this, like I said, Mamushi arrived early and it was in conjunction with other things. Now, we also learn that Koji has not actually gotten any information from precognition within 4 days, and he does not know how the future will play out. However, he does mention that he has seen futures similar to the one that's currently going on, where Inojin actually learned the new jutsu earlier. But we see as the fight continues, and Damon ultimately has to end up fleeing with Ada because the corpses start to pile up, and they can't handle them properly. And as this, they end up flying away, and Damon's like, I don't know what we're going to do, and we see as, whatchamacallit, oh, why am I forgetting names? Holy smokes. Boruto. Misuke. Yeah, Misuke. How did I forget the snake? The snake sage mode. I'm like a LARPer. But guys, Misuke? I think that's right. Oh my gosh, I'm blanking. That is my bad. The snake sage mode guy. Orochimaru's son. But yeah, so we see this, and they have to start fighting a little bit, but then ultimately Inojin ends up coming with the idea of, well, he's just talking with Koji a little bit more, and they're kind of slowly deducing down that the Mamushi are controlled. They have independent thoughts, however, they're controlled by a general hive mind as well. They can act independently, but they also have a generalized, hive mind that can control them as well. So, is it Misuke? I'm going to be stuck on the Misuke thing, but yeah. So we see this, and ultimately, Inojin ends up coming to the conclusion with Koji. He's like, okay, I'm going to have to go onto the actual battlefield. So we see as Koji ends up using reverse summoning and sends Inojin to the battlefield. And during this, he tells Himawari to watch over him because he knows what he's got to do. So he tells Himawari to watch over him, and then he runs up to Shikadai. And he's like, yo, Shikadai, I need you to capture just one of the Mamushi. So he uses Shadow Paralysis Jutsu, captures one of the Mamushi, and then we see as Inojin actually uses Mind Transfer Jutsu on the Mamushi, So he does this, gets into Mamushi's mind, and then he makes all of them stop. He actually gains connection to the hive mind. Each of them have an entrance into the hive mind. However, none of them really ever control over it, besides like the main Mamushi. Well, Inogen's actually taking this power within each of the Mamushi and acting upon it. So he does this, controls of the Mamushi, and makes them fly into the sky. Then he looks at Damon and he says, Damon, I'm going to destroy your eyes. And as we know, Damon reflects negative emotions, or emotions in general. And this causes all the Mamushi's eyes to burst. And the significance of this is that the Mamushi cannot duplicate and divide unless they have both of their eyes. And with this, all of their eyes explode, and they all kind of disintegrate away. And we also see as Inogen's eyes, like, rupture, but we have Himawari there to fix his eyes and all that with her healing abilities. Yeah, so we see this, and then we see as his tree bulb falls slowly from the sky, Boruto runs up and catches it, or flies up and catches it. And we see as... oh my gosh, I'm literally blanking again. But we see as... what the heck? Oh my gosh, I actually caught dementia. But we see as he catches the bulb, and then we get like a brief discussion of him saying he'd be ashamed to let it rot away. So he has some mention of... he has some desire to do with it. And we see as the Mamushi tree actually like has a little bit of like the eye thing on it. But yeah, that's where the chapter ends. And honestly, it was a good chapter. Like I really enjoyed it. I love that it like concluded this battle in a very smart way. Because like most of the time, I don't really want to just see like power feats in Naruto now. Because I mean, they've already gotten so powerful that it's kind of senseless to see these feats. However, like when they actually use just like regular old jutsu, like plain Jane jutsu, like we saw this jutsu all the way back in the Chunin exams in part 1 of Naruto, and it actually was used to defeat a divine tree beast. But yeah, so that was really cool. I really enjoyed that, like I thought through method of doing it, and it was just a really like satisfying way to beat Mamushi. But yeah, this chapter was only 41 pages though. Like I don't get that. I don't get how Ikimoto has 30 days, like monthly manga here, and can only pump out 41 pages, and they're not even like high quality art. Like they're not some vagabond level stuff. They're not JoJo's, and JoJo's comes out monthly. I mean, I believe it does. I'm not caught up on JoJo's, but I'm pretty certain it comes out monthly. Look at the art in it. Like we could at least get more content or better art. But like I'm enjoying the story, and I am more of a narrative focused person when it comes to manga. So if the art looks okay and the story is pretty good, in my opinion, then I'm going to enjoy it. And I'm going to keep reading Two Blue Vortex. I'm very invested in it, and I want to keep reading. I want to see what happens and all of that, how it plays out. I want to see if my theories come true and everything. But yeah, that's all there really was for Chapter 33 of Boruto Two Blue Vortex. I mean, that's all I really have for Episode 89 of Shelf Review. So thank you very much for watching.